Hello everyone, it's me, DillysSims. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Speed Build Sunday, the day of the week where I build whatever I want, because I can. So, disclaimer, I built this weeks ago, like early January, because, like I've said before in previous videos, I went through a building phase where all I wanted to do was build, and I haven't really been in the mood to build more lately. I've been I can't say hitting my head against the wall, figuratively hitting my head against the wall, trying to figure out what I want to build, but there's nothing that's inspired me yet. But for some reason, early January, before I had school, maybe that's it, because I'm back in school, but before I was back in school, I just wanted to build, like, a lot. And I built enough to cover me through the end of February. So that's only like 4 or 5. If I started building in January, let's say, that's like 6 weeks of builds. So like that's only 6 builds, but to me that's a lot, because normally I build it at the beginning of the week, and then Friday, Saturday, I voice over it for Sunday. But this is a huge change for me. Yeah, so I decided to build this house, or this apartment technically, penthouse. I would call it a penthouse, because that's exactly what it is. This penthouse, and I named it Old Maid's Apartment, like the card game Old Maid. And I was inspired. I don't actually know I don't know why I was inspired. I just thought this would be a fun, great idea to build this. I created a character mentally for this build. I imagined that there's a woman who lives in this apartment all by herself. Maybe her family lives very, very far away. She has grandchildren or doesn't have grandchildren, but she doesn't get to see her family that often. And she's very waspy. She comes from money. And her husband's dead. It's just her all by herself. I did put a little cat bowl in the kitchen, and normally I don't put any pet items, because who am I to tell you if you're gonna have pets in this house? But for this old lady and the story I created mentally, she has a little kitty cat. That's her entire life, because she has no one. Even though she does have lots and lots of family photos everywhere. Actually, I think it's like on 2 or 3 walls that she has lots of family photos. But she has lots of family photos. I imagine that this is a very old lady. She only has Chanel in her closet. She has stories of when she met Coco Chanel back during World War II. I think that's when Coco Chanel was around. I probably just lied right now. I think so. You know what? Do not quote me on that. I feel like since I like clothes so much, I should know this information, but I don't. I'm sorry. But that's okay. How are you guys doing? Are you guys doing good? Good. Let me know in the comment section if you have any ideas of what I should build, because I'm always up for new ideas and challenges from you guys. I'm always down to create something. But do I have stories? Yes, I have stories. Okay, I have stories to tell you. Where do I start? Because I have a few funny ones. Okay, I'll start with my professor. So, I talked about my professor last speed build, and I was talking about how great he is and how he wants us to exercise, and he's just a great professor. I had one full class with him already, and he is so funny. And he wanted us to record get to know you videos, right? So I recorded a video, and it was kind of like a vlog style video for me. So I just held up my phone, spoke to the camera, and then that was that. And I posted it, and I said all the things that you guys probably already know about me. So what did I talk about? I talked about why I wanted to become a teacher, because I'm taking classes to be a teacher right now. I told my class my #1 role model in life is Princess Diana, because she is. What else did I tell my class? I love Sex and the City. I could rewatch it a dozen times and never get bored of it. Yeah, stuff like that. And then the next day he came into class. Professor, oh my gosh, now I just like tongue-tied myself. Professor Asham, there you go. He came into class and he was like, hey, so-and-so, you did a great job on your video. You did a great job on your video. And then he was like, Dylan, because my name is Dylan, your video made me laugh out loud. And I was like, oh, good. That's what I like to hear. I mean, I do YouTube as, it's not even a job, but it's for fun. And so I do YouTube so many days out of the week. It's almost like another job. It's an unpaid internship, quotation marks. And in the video, my video that I made, I mentioned that I am a Carrie from Sex and the City. I identify with the character Carrie. And he said, you know, I never watched the show, and so I asked my fiance, and she never watched the show either, but she watched the movie, and she says that I'm a Miranda. So I thought it was so cute that he wanted to get to know me, that he went to his fiance and asked his fiance, hey, there's this little gay kid in my class, and I want to get to know him. What Sex and the City character am I? I thought it was so cute that he did that. He's such a great professor. I 10 out of 10 do recommend him as a professor. I'm not going to tell you what school I go to, but I mean, to be honest, you could probably find out what school I go to just by Googling this professor. So, yeah, there's that. What else? Oh, okay. The same day that my professor told me he was a Miranda, I swear, if I wasn't dating this person for 4 months already, the actions that I'm going to tell you would be identified as stalking. People would qualify this as stalking if we weren't dating for 4 months already. So, I decided to take coffee to the person that I'm currently dating. And I know his coffee order, like by heart. So I thought, he travels for work, so I thought, oh, maybe he left. But just in case, I'm going to drive by his house. So I drove by his house, and he was home. So I thought, okay, I should probably drop him off a coffee, because I know he works at home, and then he goes to school, and then he comes back to his house. So I went to Starbucks, grabbed his coffee order, drove back to his house, and then I thought, should I call him? I know he's working, but I don't want to call and interrupt him. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to call him. If he doesn't pick up the phone, that means he's too busy to to take a phone call, and that's okay. I'll just leave the coffee on his front door. And so I called, he didn't pick up, and I hung up. And then after I hung up, I realized I forgot to leave a voicemail explaining why there's a cup of coffee sitting on his front porch. So then I had to call again, and he didn't pick up. So I left him a voicemail apologizing as to why I'm calling him twice, telling him why I called him twice, and that there's a coffee sitting on his front porch. And then I crossed the street to his house because I had to park on the other side of the street. He has this big, tall gate that's like taller than I am, and I'm 5'6", surrounding his house. So I had to open his gate, walk onto his property, go to the front door, leave the coffee mug there. I wrote on the coffee mug saying, hey, handsome, have a great day, yada, yada, yada. And leave the coffee mug there and then leave. I was doing it I left the coffee there, and the whole time I was walking onto his property and everything, I thought, oh god, this could be considered stalking. If we didn't know each other, or if we knew each other for a week, this would be considered stalking. But luckily we've been dating for 4 months, so I don't think it's considered stalking. You guys let me know in the comment section below. Do you think what I did was stalking? I mean, I don't think I've done that before. I don't think I've stalked anyone before. Have I? I mean, when you first get to know somebody, you like Google them. One time, okay, this might become PG-13. Get ready, kids. The one time I decided I'm not going to Google this person because I want everything to be a surprise to me, was when I was dating a police officer. And I call him the police officer, even though he decided to leave the force to work in human resources, because that's what he wanted to do. And we were dating for, I want to say, 3 or 4 months. And one day, out of the blue, I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep, and I pulled out my phone, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to Google him, see what pops up. And so, I'm not going to identify his name, but I Googled this person's name, and what came up was, like, again, this is going to become very PG-13 right now, I'm so sorry. It was like, let's name him John, that's not his name. John DeMarco? Let's name him John DeMarco. It was like, John DeMarco's gangbang. And I was like, wait, I'm dating a former adult film star? And I was shocked because I would look through pictures and I would like I typed his name up and then adult film star. And I looked and I couldn't find just a picture of him with like the name, John DeMarco. So I opened up IMDb and there was like 7 or 8 different films, and I was like, okay, wow, so he's done this for a while. And then I started freaking out and I kept searching, and I searched really, really hard. I spent like maybe 45 minutes searching to see if the person, my John DeMarco, was the same John DeMarco that's an adult film star. And I was searching and I was like, oh no, maybe I am. Well, and then I went through this whole debacle where I was thinking, can I deal with this? Knowing that this was part of his past. And I was thinking, he doesn't do it anymore. Maybe he needed to pay for college. Like, I went through this whole, like, accepting phase where I did anything to try to get myself to accept the fact that he was an adult film star. And I kept searching, and finally I found a picture of John DeMarco. Wrong person. Completely wrong person, but same name. And it took me a long time because I would type in, you know, John DeMarco adult films, and then it would be like a DVD cover, and there's like 4 people on the cover, and I'm like, okay, which person is it? And luckily it wasn't the same person, and I freaked out and went through a whole debacle for no reason at all. But I'm really good at making much ado about nothing, and that's a Shakespearean play, and that roughly translates to a big fuss over nothing. Yeah, so then I went up to him and I was like, hey, do you know that there's like an adult film star with your same name? And he was like, yeah, I watched his stuff, but I'm not really into it. And I was like, yeah, cool. I didn't watch his stuff because I don't find him attractive. Yeah, it's fun. I'm still friends with that guy, the police officer. I'm still friends with him. We had lunch a few weeks ago. I should probably call him again to have lunch. Even though I'm dating someone else, I feel like it's very important to be friends with people that you've dated, because that says a lot about you as a person. And I listen to Dan Savage, like I worship the words that come out of Dan Savage's mouth. And Dan Savage says, it says a lot about somebody if you date somebody, or if somebody dates somebody and then only has nice things to say about them. It says a lot about that person. And if you date somebody and every person they dated is like, you know, a stupid, I'm sorry, I'm gonna curse right now. I try not to curse, but is a stupid bitch, then what's gonna happen if you guys don't break up? Then you're also gonna become one of those stupid bitches. So I think it says a lot about somebody if you can. I'm sorry if there's any children listening to my thing. I try really hard not to cuss. I also try really hard not to cuss in real life, especially the F word. I hate when people use the F word around me. I had a coworker yesterday curse not at me, but like to me, curse, because she was just talking and apparently that's part of her vocabulary. But it really bothers me because I don't think that's classy. I don't think that's anything to be envious of. If you have a potty mouth, I don't think that's something to be like, oh wow, she's so cool because she can use the F word. But that's my own personal opinion. I do use it. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I do use it, but I try not to. Yeah, where was, let me talk about this person. What did I call her last time? It was Jennifer, right? No, Caitlin. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember Caitlin? So I know it's been a few weeks since I talked about Caitlin. Caitlin is the worst employee I have ever worked with. She is awful. She is blatantly rude to customers and fellow employees. She delivers sass. She's only been here for like a few months, but she acts like she's been here for 7 years like me. And I'm not about that life. So yesterday, I was closing, and we close the shop at 7. Okay, like 7 p.m. we're closed. And so, like 6, not even 6:30, it was like 6, a family comes in. And so the family's there, they're shopping, they're just hanging out, they eat, they buy food, they eat, and they come into the building around 6. They stay until 7:20 when my supervisor, Sarah, tells them, hey, you're gonna have to leave. Like, we're closed. And so Caitlin had a friend there who was just loitering. And actually, her friend was also causing Caitlin to not work. And so there's 2 different departments. There's the deli and there's like the ice cream / coffee counter. I was working in the ice cream / coffee counter with Caitlin. And Sarah told Caitlin's friend, hey, I'm sorry, if you're Caitlin's friend, you're gonna have to leave because, you know, we're closing up. And then Caitlin goes off on this long tangent, and she really doesn't like Sarah because Sarah is our lead. She is on top of us to make sure things get done, because if something doesn't get done, management will get mad at her and will get her in trouble. So she's just trying to cover her own back. And I get that. So Sarah's constantly on top of people saying, hey, don't forget to do this, that, the other. Caitlin goes off on this long tangent with just talking to me because Sarah's in the deli and can't hear her. And she goes, oh my gosh, did you hear her? She's such a effing bitch and all of this stuff. And I actually like Sarah. Sarah is an adult. She has things to do. And she lives 30 minutes away. She has to drive 30 minutes home. And the family was here at 7:20, so she had to kick him out because the later she stays, she won't go home until later. And that includes Caitlin's friend. And Caitlin kept going. She just kept going and going. And she was like, did you hear her? Did you hear her the way she spoke to my friend? God, don't you think that's just rude? And I told her, it sounded rude, but I'm pretty sure Sarah's just stressed and she wants to get home. And she goes, that's not even acceptable. Like, she has no reason to talk to her that way. She's just so effing rude. And I was so angry with her because she's like 19. So she's like, she hasn't lived, I guess. She's not mature enough. I personally think. Not saying that there aren't 19-year-olds that aren't mature, but she's just not mature. She as a person. And she just kept going. And actually, Sarah apologized to her and she said, hey, I'm sorry. It's just, you know, we were close, so I had to like kick her out. And she goes, no, that's just the way you spoke to her. She's like, she just kept going off on Sarah's attitude and why Sarah needs to calm down and yada, yada, yada. And it made me so angry because she didn't do anything. Like, I closed with her and she since her friend was there, all she did was talk to her friend. She is such a bad employee, and then she's gonna go ahead and tell our lead that she's a bad person because she's trying to do her job so she can drive 30 minutes home to like be with her family and tuck her kids into bed because she has 3 kids. It made me so angry. Like, why can't you get that through your skull that the world does not revolve around you, Caitlin? Anyways, I'm getting very close to the end of the video, so I'm gonna have to start wrapping this up. I know you guys are all into the Caitlin story, but I will have more Caitlin stories. Caitlin is, ugh. I feel like she works all the time too, even though she's just an awful employee. But anyways, so I'm gonna leave this part off here. Let me know what you think of this build. This build can be found in the gallery. It's under the name Old Maid's Apartment. Or you can just find it by searching me, DillysSims, in the gallery. Remember, if you want to create any lots for me, just tag it in the gallery with the hashtag DillysSims. If you want to see me make a certain build, let me know in the comment section below. And remember to like, subscribe, comment, do all those fun YouTube things, and I'll catch all of you guys next time. Bye, everybody.